Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today some pretty interesting and also confusing information came out regarding Nostalrius. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Nostalrius has kind of been like the standard bearer of the whole legacy server, private server struggle ever since the original vanilla WoW server got shut down in April of last year. So in order for me to kind of give you guys a full understanding of why people are so frustrated and why they're so upset and more than anything confused at the announcement that Nostalrius made today, I kind of have to make a short timeline in order for you guys to understand all of the events to where from the shutdown up until now, so you guys can see why this is so weird. So basically, Nostalrius had a vanilla WoW private server. That server was run, it was non-profit. They didn't make any money off of it except through, I think, donations to keep the servers up. And it was very, very popular, probably the most popular vanilla WoW server that there was. And if it wasn't the most popular, it was definitely the most well-known. Blizzard, in response, in order to protect their intellectual property, they had to shut that server down via cease and desist letter. They sent a cease and desist letter to the Nostalrius team, and the Nostalrius team took the servers down in response to that letter. At which point, people went fucking apeshit. They were so mad. They were like, Blizzard, how could you do this? WoD sucks, and you're gonna fucking make us play WoD. Why can't we play vanilla? They were furious. Everybody was mad, right? I made videos. Everybody made videos. Even like really, really big YouTubers like JonTron made videos. Shit, I just said YouTubers. Anyway, tons of people made videos about this, up to the point where people were writing articles, even the BBC covered it, and Blizzard felt a lot of pressure, and they actually extended an olive branch out to the Nostalrius developer, and they said, yo, come out to our, our California location, and we will talk about the viability of legacy servers. And I mean, just to put that into perspective, like, these guys are stealing your fucking content, and then you're gonna fly them out to meet you at your headquarters to talk about making this happen. Like, it's crazy that they did that, and a lot of people think that that was kind of a publicity stunt. Was it or not? I mean, I think that we'll know in time, but now it's kind of hard to be certain because we don't really know what Blizzard is planning, right? Anyway, They fly the Nostalrius developers out there, they have a meeting, and then Nostalrius developers go home, and Nostalrius developers do not hear anything from Blizzard. Again, like, Blizzard stops responding to their emails. I don't know why. This could be reasonable, or it could be unreasonable. It could be, I guess, like, within the realm of politeness, or it could be rude. I don't know. I'm not either one of the parties, so I don't want to say. Either way, so Blizzard at that point stopped responding to their emails, and at that, I think about then, BlizzCon 2016 was coming up, and this was in November. And Nostalrius said, basically, if Blizzard does not honor their core values in providing people with a vanilla WoW experience, that Nostalrius will. And everybody was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, this is like, okay, this is going down. And on top of that, there was a, another petition. It was the first petition that got over 300,000 signatures about whenever Nostalrius got shut down. And the second petition got something like 20,000 or something like that. And it was to get people to, I guess, bring up legacy servers at BlizzCon, even though, and I thought this second petition was fucking stupid. I said this before. Of course it's fucking stupid. Like, what? I mean, they already said they weren't going to talk about it. Like, how are you going to get them? Like, what do you think? You're going to accidentally get them to say that they're going to do legacy servers? Like, what the fuck? It was completely stupid, and it was counterproductive on top of all that. But anyway, getting away from that, so then Blizzard, they did the BlizzCon, and they didn't really talk about legacy servers. A couple people brought it up, but other than that, it was really of no consequence. After BlizzCon, Nostalrius makes a post, and they say, basically, yo, this is what's going to happen, and they endorsed another private server developer, Elysium, and not only did they endorse Elysium to say, yo, everybody go over here, on top of that, they gave them the core, the Nostalrius core, which is kind of like, I'm not a developer, but I think it's kind of like the skeleton and the information in terms of like the mob health values and like the combat system for how Nostalrius was run. They gave that over to the Elysium developers, as well as giving them all the character lists, and most importantly, as I said at the beginning, an endorsement. So Nostalrius said, Elysium is the closest people that we have to our core values. They're not going to try and make any money off of these servers. So go ahead and play over there. We're even going to let you play your old Nostalrius characters on the new Elysium servers. So at this point, everybody was happy. There were a lot of people that were happy. You got to play your old server, play on your old character, play vanilla WoW, and it was a pretty good experience at the same time. It was basically like being able to play on Nostalrius again. Now, all of that's basically what happened a couple months ago, and the servers, the Elysium servers, have been blowing up. Tons of people have been playing them, like 10,000. I think at one point they had over 40,000 people online for these servers, so it was a very, very popular. Way more popular than Nostalrius was back last year. So Nostalrius makes, and that all that brings us up to today. Okay, that's where we're at today. Now, Nostalrius makes this post on their forum. There's going to be a link in the video description below, as well as Elysium's response in the video description below. To the WoW Legacy fans and Nostalrius community, dear community, in our last major announcement, we shared our plan to honor our core values and reunite Legacy WoW community once again. As we explained, the goal is to relieve pressure on Blizzard by providing a home for vanilla WoW in order to reduce lower tensions, not release tensions. Don't know why I thought of that. And begin building a WoW community that includes Legacy WoW players. Okay, so we're going to go through this sentence by sentence. Okay, how are you going to try and relieve pressure on Blizzard whenever you're looking favorably on a petition to put pressure on Blizzard at an event where they already said they weren't going to talk about something by asking them to talk about something that they weren't already going to talk about it? It makes no sense, right? So their actions contradict what they're saying. That's really what I'm saying. However, when looking back at what happened, we have a feeling that the main objective was missed. The following values have always been at the heart of any of our actions. Two things. Achieving official WoW Legacy servers, official Blizzard Legacy servers, and 2, helping as much as we can to unify the WoW community together. That's great. That sounds awesome. I think that's good. I think for the most part, it's not like they've done anything actively to to not do that, except for, in my opinion, releasing the source code and everything like that. I thought that was a bad idea, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Almost 300,000 people supported the petition. That's the first petition I talked about. Some are former Nostalrius players, others never played on pirate servers. Today, only 10% of the former Nostalrius players have generated a token to join Elysium, and we believe that we failed to satisfy this community entirely, as at the same time, Legacy fans acquired a reputation of pirates. Pirates! Oh my god, can you imagine if you're taking a free version of copyrighted intellectual property game, movie, or music of another person that you didn't pay for, that you have no right to do, and people would call you a pirate? Oh my god! How could that possibly happen? Oh, right, that's the definition. Of course they're going to call you a fucking pirate. Because you are a fucking pirate. If you're going to be a pirate, put on a fucking eye patch, put a parrot on your shoulder, raise a Jolly Roger, and play vanilla WoW. Jolly Roger, not Radger. I don't know what the hell that was. Don't pretend. Don't pretend. I hate it whenever people pretend. What the fuck? Of course you're pirates, because you're pirating the game. Anyway, 10% of foreign Nostalrius players have generated a token on Elysium, and we believe that we failed to satisfy this community entirely. So let me get this straight. If there are going to be, it was about 10,000 or so active players on Nostalrius at any given time, about that much, and then Elysium at sometimes has over 30 to 40,000, how is a 200% increase, 150, whatever, how is that much of an increase? How are you failing to satisfy that community? What are you trying to do? Makes no sense. And also, the 10%, let's go ahead and also talk about this 10% number. For one, the token system didn't work. Okay, so no wonder a lot of people didn't get to use it. Number 2, the other 90% of players that didn't use the token system, that doesn't mean that they didn't make a character on Elysium. That just means that they didn't use the token, and also the 10%, all the players that had characters on Nostalrius were not all active players. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. Contrary to our expectations, our decision to release our source code and character database to Elysium actually made our 2 goals harder to achieve, implying a tough decision to make. Well, it'd be a good thing. It's too bad nobody told them that. Oh, that's right. I said that on the first day. So did everybody else with a fucking brain. Of course it would. Of course it would have done that. How could it possibly not do that? I even tweeted to them, and they responded saying that it's not going to happen. Alright, so what's the plan now? As Rory just summarized, there's a true desire for legacy WoW content players need for a home. Only players, few people deny the viability of legacy content. You have an amazing community demonstrating to the world. This is a step and consequently achieved. Now we need to continue convincing the World of Warcraft community that will bring continued value to the entirety of World of Warcraft, something that we missed to achieve so far because our last announcement. That's okay. We know that Nostalrius carries the hopes of the legacy community, but moving from a fan server to private server reputation makes it harder to convince legacy fans have a place in the WoW community. Until this stigma is removed, it's unlikely that any progress towards official legacy content can be achieved. So the first thing that I've said to a lot of people, and this is something that if you guys don't do this, you definitely need to, is don't waste your time, don't bust your ass, don't upset yourself, don't stress yourself out with trying to worry about the opinions of stupid people. It doesn't matter. It never matters. They're stupid. Of course some people are going to say that, yeah, you're a pirate. And of course, yes, you are, but that doesn't mean that people don't want legacy servers anyway. If you are worried about what the biggest moron on the official WoW general forums thinks, you are going to be worried all the fucking time. Like this, of course there are going to be people who think that that's what you are, especially because you are. But on the top of that, that doesn't mean that official legacy servers can't happen. What they're trying to appease a community. This is what they're doing, is they're alienating their community that they have now. The people that are on their side right now. They're alienating those people in order to get another audience of people that are never going to want them. It's like it's a lose-lose situation, and you're going from, hey, we're winning here, so let's quit that, let's finish that, and now let's go ahead and lose here too. Twice. It's not going to work. Thus, we are asking you for a tremendous sacrifice. We ask Elysium to join this effort for Legacy Realms by stopping the use of the data that we provided. Wow. Just gave that to him a couple months ago. Alright. We know that they aim at official legacy servers as we do. We have already stopped the account transfer process from our side as a first step. Nostalrius community is no longer about private servers. It is about official legacy realms. I like that. I don't want a private server. I don't want a private server. I want an official Blizzard Legacy realm too. This is good. This is what I want. Why weren't you guys doing this the whole time? What's been going on? You get the thing, and then we call it core values, and we will, and then there's a petition to ask about the thing that they weren't going to talk about. And oh boy. All right, so we require your help. You're a massive community, and you already got heard. Now you need to explain and convince. We saw YouTubers such as Sodapoppin, JonTron, Nixium, The Lazy Peon, Athene Wins, Bellior Gaming, Swifty, and many others making wonderful videos to present vanilla WoW to the whole community, explaining the lore, the gameplay, their memories there. We also saw the original WoW team lead Mark Kern join our cause. This is I don't want to read the rest of it. There's no real point. I'll just go ahead and scroll down. Just see. Oh, here's a post on the first page. That's pretty dumb. Okay. So anyway, Elysium, the other people that are running the private server now, they obviously responded to this. So let's go ahead and read the Elysium response. Dear community, it is with sadness that we must act under such circumstances. However, rest assured that our loyalties remain with the community in all things. Our actions over the course of the next several weeks, we will discontinue the use of the Nostalrius core. By then, we will have completed Anathema, which will be equal to or superior to the Nostalrius core. Just so you guys understand, Anathema is the Elysium version of the Nostalrius core. It's what they had been working on before Nostalrius. They had already had their own servers beforehand, and they're going to just continue working on Anathema, probably because they have the Nostalrius core. They can just copy-paste some stuff over, and I think that it probably will be good. We assure you that we will not feel any difference in the cores except for a potential increase in quality. We have been continuously updating Anathema core side by side with the Nostalrius core. All characters that have existed in the game since Elysium launch will now be maintained, and all Nostalrius specific data will be wiped. Nostalrius realms will be renamed Anathema PvP and Darrowshire PvE. A 30-minute maintenance will recur. All future Nostalrius related data will be denied, so you can't transfer your character anymore. And Elysium will not disclose any Nostalrius data, such as the databases and core. Nostalrius handed us the torch, and we have no intention in putting it out. Insight, and these are some analytics that they have right here. 52% of Nostalrius active accounts transferred over 16 days. Token Juror, I don't know how it's 52%. They're saying it's 52%, but Nostalrius is saying it's 10. I really don't know. I don't know what that means. 155% increase of active accounts compared to Nostalrius. Again, huge amount of people playing on Elysium, way more than Nostalrius. 50% of total accounts were active in the last 7 days. So that means of all the people that have ever played on Elysium, that have made an account on Elysium, half of them have been online in the last week. That's a pretty active community. 17,000 players simultaneously online at relaunch. 30,500 players simultaneously online over 4 realms. And they also have 62 volunteers working on it. Okay. The environment of the game is creation. I'm going to go ahead and read this last sentence here. The rest of it is not really that big of a deal. The environment within the game is so wonderful. I added the "so" there. And one of the main key points is why we're so passionate about it. Fun, polite, social, and yet we find a completely different environment on social media. Some members of the community take it upon themselves to slander other organizations who are trying to reach the same goal as us. They attack Blizzard, the very entity that we wish to be embraced by in the creation of legacy servers. So we ask for you to be the bigger man. Show the world that we are a community and support each other. Nothing will be accomplished by a show of strength and base results. Discuss and explain your interests. That way we upbuild instead of tear down. While criticism is good, it is constructive criticism that is the key to success. Thank you, DJ Khaled. The community is big enough for us to coexist, and we better to exist united. We hope moderators of such discussions, or be social media guild and the research project, and enthusiasts will take this message to heart, which is what I've said ever since the very beginning. So people are fucking pissed off. They're mad at Nostalrius. They think Nostalrius sold out. They think that Blizzard paid off Nostalrius. They think that Nostalrius is in legal trouble with Blizzard for giving out the code, and so they're doing this as damage control. They think that Nostalrius, is like giving up on private servers. There's a lot of things that people think. Now, what's the reality? We don't really know. We know that these 2 posts are what they said. We think that Nostalrius was originally going to ask Elysium to delete the characters that people had already had on the Elysium servers. That since then has not happened. Is my pizza cold? It's a little bit cold. I'm just gonna eat this pretty quick. So anyway, let me go ahead and get down to the bottom line here. I wish that Nostalrius had been more consistent with what they were doing. I wish they had been less idealistic with their efforts. And I wish they had been more open with what their direction is supposed to be from the beginning. I feel like all 3 of those things have been very lacking. And because of that, I think this is going to set the whole legacy server community back a number of steps. For one, because we look stupid. And 2, because it divides people. Good job. I don't know if Blizzard's going to make official legacy servers. I don't know, but I don't think this really helps. Maybe they shouldn't have released the code at all. Like, I don't know, some people said. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. On Twitch, they have a phrase for situations like this. Clown Fiesta. Woo. Having a lot of fun. Hopefully it doesn't ruin our goal. It's disappointing. I don't know. I think they should be more open and things would be a lot more clear. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. That's what I think. So, thanks for watching. And like, comment, and subscribe.